Now keep in mind these are just reports and rumors that have been circulating the internet wrestling community over the past week and a half, but there might be some truth to them and there might not be any truth to them. These reports are stating that there have been talks since late February, early March about WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling possibly working together down the line later this year. WWE looking to make New Japan Pro Wrestling one of their international partners, and specifically trying to get some of their stars, some of WWE stars, both Raw, SmackDown, and NXT stars, on the New Japan Pro Wrestling shows. Not so much New Japan Pro Wrestling stars coming over here to work the WWE events. And over the past few months, there have been a lot of talk and a lot of discussion about how AEW has opened up the forbidden door. They've allowed guys from Impact Wrestling, from the NWA, and from New Japan Pro Wrestling to appear on their shows, and vice versa, allowing this interpromotional, not war, but just sharing of talents to take place. So the question right here we're asking ourselves is, would this benefit WWE? Would this benefit New Japan Pro Wrestling? And most importantly, would it benefit the wrestling industry as a whole at this moment in time? And right now, if you ask me, would it benefit WWE? Of course it would. It would benefit the leader in sports entertainment because they have yet to re-sign a guy like Daniel Bryan. And I'm sure a lot of guys on the current WWE roster wouldn't mind to have a tour in Japan or have a few appearances in Japan, something that they cannot do currently under their WWE contract. So that's an added bonus to re-signing or to sticking with the company that is WWE. Now, in terms of New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course it's beneficial to work with WWE. You're talking about working with the leader in sports entertainment, the most recognized brand that professional wrestling has to offer today, tomorrow, and who knows how much longer down the line. So that's a win-win for WWE and for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, in terms of the wrestlers, that's a different story. If New Japan Pro Wrestlers were to come over to WWE, they might lose a little bit of creative freedom, yes, and especially they won't be able to work for AEW, for Impact Wrestling, for Ring of Honor, for CMLL down in Mexico. They won't be able to do that kind of stuff because, again, working with WWE requires certain exclusivity. It requires certain prestige. So this would be a big step in that relationship between WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling, but it would pretty much shut the forbidden door down, or shut rather, between AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling. All of that would go away, and I can assure you most fans on the IWC would go nuts. They would go crazy. I'm already reading this all over the place. They do not like the idea of New Japan Pro Wrestling and WWE working together. Mostly because they want to go against the grain. They want to go against WWE. It's always WWE versus everybody else. And at this point, up to this point, it kind of has been. But overall, there's not much else to report. Like I said, it would benefit WWE because they get to re-sign their top stars and offer them something that they haven't been able to offer them since the mid-'80s, which is, you want to head over to Japan for a few shows, go right ahead, but you're sticking with us, right? It's beneficial for New Japan Pro Wrestling because they're trying to continue their North American expansion. And what better way to do it than with the most recognized pro wrestling company, not only in North America, but in the entire planet, WWE. And it would be beneficial for fans in some cases because, like I said, some of the stars from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT would appear on New Japan Pro Wrestling shows, would be getting dream matches, so and so, etc. And at the same time, it wouldn't be, because we wouldn't be able to see Kenta appear on AEW ever again. We wouldn't be able to see Finjuice appear on Impact Wrestling, or El Fantasma, which I'm a big fan of ever since he made his debut a few weeks ago. So other than that, we just have to wait and see. Highlight of the week, though, is the fact that AEW President Tony Khan called out WWE's President and Chief Revenue Officer, I believe, Nick Khan, in a fantastic promo, worthy of kayfabe, just calling him out and saying that there's room for only one Khan in the business, and that is Tony. So that's highlight of the week. Other than that, what do you think? Do you think WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling should advance in these talks? Do you think everything should remain the same? Do you think New Japan Pro Wrestling should just stick around with AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, everybody else, and just go with the flow and just go against WWE? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions on the comment section below. I've been Alexis Carrillo. Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions, and tune in later on to Monday Night Raw to see who challenges Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell later on this month. Yep, this month. Have a great Monday.